Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another event video on Marvel Strike Force. I hope you're all ready for the Demonic Origins event. Yes, or maybe I should call it the Crimson Origin events, based on because of all the unhappy people who had the gear name swap. But that's okay. It's in the game now. In case you didn't notice, it is there. Crimson gear is there. It's kind of weird because I guess this is the one time where the name, Crimson actually matches the orb, whereas with Teal, it was like an augmented orb or whatever, augmented gear and a Teal orb. Anyways, today's event is interesting because we've actually kind of switched the event a little bit. It's Black Cat just showed up because what was supposed to happen, and this is the one time where the data mines were actually subject to change, because the data mines had an event called the historic heist. And actually, in fact, it was in the blog post as well. This was a blog post from the last blog post ago, and it said historic heist for the main milestones of March 11th. Now, this event was supposed to have diamonds on a leaderboard for Black Cat. So that's not happening anymore. We have a different milestone that doesn't actually have a leaderboard, but does contain some red demonic gear. Now, I want to say up front that I think that some of the creators have been a little bit misleading when it comes to talking about this event, because there is almost zero chance that any free-to-play players are going to have any chance in hell, no pun intended, to get any of this red gear. It's just not happening. But we are going to talk about in this video, how to do as well as you possibly can to obviously get the event item and as much resources as you possibly can by the end of this event. We'll also talk a little bit about the Alliance-based event, Machines of War, which will be happening pretty soon as well. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Now, before we get there, we're into week 2 of March, so hopefully we won't have as big of an issue as we did with February, where they didn't really know the kind of points that they were throwing at us in terms of getting to the month-long end of 800k. We're back to 800k now as well. So the free-to-play subtotal, this is like, yes, you're not going to have this. If you collected everything that was available with the information known, you would be at about 552k. This seems pretty good. This seems to be like there is going to be a decent surplus like it normally would have been, which would have been, I guess, January, where we were like a surplus of 20 to 61k is because of one of the alliance-based events. It was kind of trash. But hopefully this one's a lot better than what happened for February. So that's good news for now. I just wanted to kind of point that out before we get started. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about Machines of War up front, because this is the alliance-based event. I don't want to go too much in detail here. In fact, I'm going to switch myself over to the full screen. Is this the top left? Yeah, sometimes I use this when I'm doing this. So I want to talk about this event because it includes war battles, but war with out-of-time characters. A lot of people are using out-of-time on war defense, not offense. So if you want to get the points for this, you're going to have to take them off of war defense to use them offensively. Now, I know that a lot of big alliances that actually care about alliance war tend to prefer leaving these on defense, and especially if you wailed out for Cosmic Ghost Rider, the whole team apparently, the easiest way to deal with them is to just, sack them. That could lead to a lot of combat cancels, right, if you're in a hardcore war alliance. So having them on offense, while really good, I think that a lot of people prefer the defense. But what are you going to miss out? You're going to lose about 70,000 points, I suppose, if everyone has them on defense instead of offense. In terms of where I think that you might get in the milestone, it's really hard to say, but I would wager, given that the limit of 290k, which is, I believe, like less, maybe 9 to 10 war battles over 3 wars. It is a 6-day milestone, but it's going to run from Monday to Sunday. And I think most alliances, because I'm in zone 4 and I finish my week by then, so I think that everyone would have got three battles, I believe. So let me know if that's wrong and if some zones do not get 3 wars, but I think everyone should. In terms of total points, I would expect, because it also has the free claims for the allied orb fragments as well, I'm thinking if you don't use out-of-time characters, I'm thinking you'll probably get to milestone 15, which would be all the event currency, which is fine, right? But if you wanted to get all this extra stuff, maybe the gold and other things across your alliance, then you might actually need to use your out-of-time characters on offense. Maybe you could get this 1.5 million. Kind of doubt you get this milestone 18, unless somebody wailed out on extra points for, these characters down here in an alliance-based effort kind of thing. But otherwise, I wouldn't expect too much because it's like only these characters at 5+ yellow star. And so you'd have to definitely have bought them in order to get that. So yeah, I wouldn't expect too much from this milestone. So it's entirely up to you if you want to use out of time on offense or defense. I don't think you'll really miss out on much either way. Just my thoughts on that one before we get started with Demonic Origins, which I'm gonna actually remove myself for this one because of the top stuff on the top right. So you can see all the character shards here. There is some decent ones, but some pretty old ones that are farmable at this point. You know, you have the Secret Defenders. Some of this might be okay for like newer players, some mid-game players maybe as well. There is some 15 Force shards, which I hope, would know, I don't know why I said I hope, that they definitely are going to be available, free to play available. And these 20 Gwenum should be as well. But these 30 Void Knight here on the side, which is pretty far down, I do not expect any of this to happen, which means that I honestly don't believe that any of this Crimson gear is going to be free to play accessible. I think we're most likely going to aim for around the event item. We might just skate by and get Gwenum shards, but that's probably about all I would expect. The rest of this stuff, you know, there's going to be for spenders, right? It's going to be for whalestones. And that's exactly the kind of audience that Scopely and Boundless are looking for in terms of being able to spend to get further progress towards Dark Dimension 7 and Gear Tier 19. So don't expect anything crazy when it comes to, you know, how far you're able to get. You know, if you are able to do all of this and you want to spend for all this, I just want to like kind of point out too as well that these are catalyst and origin pieces, catalyst. So in terms of like really big value, I guess it could be the uniques because the uniques cost 800,000 gold a piece, right? So that's like 9 times 7.2 million just on the top of my head. And the rest of this are like, you know, packs of 20k, right? Because you can buy this in the store for like 20k a piece for 10, I think. So it's like 200k for 10. So it's not that much actually. If you really think about it, the total gold value of all this stuff in here is not actually that significant. So don't think that you need to really go out and spend a lot in order to actually do well in this event. Even if you were to hypothetically save a shit ton of campaign energy to do this, I just don't think it's worth it. Like to save just for this, it's like you're not even getting that much out of it because 25 catalysts is like, I don't know, 500k. I think it's 500k gold. This is 500k gold, so this is like a 1 million milestone. It's not even that much, right? So don't be too concerned with that. But let's jump over to the math so we can actually get started with this one here on Demonic Origins. 7-day event. This is Cosmic Crucible, Campaign Energy, and Alliance credits. Total milestone required, 230k. Don't worry, you're not getting there, right? These are all whalestones. The event item, however, is at 46,000. This one's a little bit more reasonable. The total event currency is 91,000 that you're going to get from this, plus the event item, of course. Free claims we don't know yet, and how this works is that I'll put this in when the event goes live. I'll post up the table up on my Discord server, so hopefully all of you are part of that. If you want to share it with your alliance or just keep it for yourself, I'll be updating that with that as well. The total web milestones for this event is 12,000 points. This is 3,000 Alliance credits over 7 days that you need to do. Now, if you're unaware of what you need to do when it comes to Alliance credits, well, it's pretty simple. You just need to donate your Alliance credits. You donate the 10k gold and you get your Alliance credits, right? And for the purposes of this event, you actually only need the first 4 boxes. So you don't actually need to donate power cores for this. Some of the events, you know, in the past have, you know, half your alliance, you'd have to get that 5th box, right? You know, some of them had to do that. But for this one, you don't. You just need to do your daily donation and you need to get the 4 boxes. Do that for 7 days and you'll be fine because basically this is 100 credits per box. So that's 400 plus I believe you get 150 for your daily objective. So 550 times 7 is over 3,000 that you need for this. So you shouldn't have a problem with this unless you, I don't know, miss a day or something. In terms of the points now, oh yeah, in terms of, yeah, I can just show you really quickly what you are going to get from the web milestone. There is going to be some catalysts. It's mostly milestone points directly, and then a bunch of orange and teal catalyst pieces for that. And at the very end, there's like an Elite 7 orb. Wah! Or 5 diamond credits, I guess, that you can get for that. So nothing super exciting. You can earn 1 anniversary orb fragments by spending your campaign energy. We'll talk about that down below, or rather, that's how you're going to get it. That's how you're going to bridge the gap outside of Cosmic Crucible, which is 27,000 limit of 1,500 per battle. Now, this is 6 Crucible battles per match. Do not cancel your Crucible matches if you want those points to basically take effect. So if you combat cancel, this does not give you the 1,500 points. You either have to finish the match or lose. You have to finish the match. So either you have to win or you have to lose. One of the two. If you combat cancel a bunch of times and you screw up a bunch of times and you quit out, that's not going to count towards it. So do be careful that you don't like do this too frequently. Otherwise, you may not actually get all your points for this, which is fairly important. Now, your total campaign energy per day, of course, is going to be about 1100. I copy and paste this every time there's a campaign energy event because it's the same thing. This is the same numbers. Now, in terms of the orb fragments that I believe is going to be the case for this, I'm optimistic at 3-1, but it could be as low as 2-1 and you'll still get the event item for that. Now, the reason why I believe 3-1 is because that'll give you that Gwenum milestone. So that one that I was talking about over here on this side for the 20 Gwenum, which is just after the event item. If we include the free claim as well, I think that'll get you there. And I think that's reasonable. I wouldn't go much further than that. And actually, 15 compared to the Star Brand event that we have going right now, which is actually pretty terrible in terms of your progress in the event milestone. I think that we'll probably get 15. That's what I'm wagering, but it could be 2-1. We'll talk about how that impacts it down below. The Alliance creds I've already talked about, so I'm not going to. This is not a big deal here. You're more than getting 3,000 over 7 days. That part's not that difficult. So reasonable event milestone points at 3-1. It's about 62,000 points. This is approximately milestone 15. Not including the free claim. Now, I'll show you what happens if you were to change this to 2-1. You just change the number, you get 2,000-ish. And then over the 7 days is 15.5 thousand orb fragments. Changes the number to about 54.5k, which is not milestone 15, but still would be milestone 15 probably with the free claim. So it doesn't really matter because the next one after that is 74,000. And that's not happening even at 3-1, which is why I think that it very well could be. Because even with 3-1 and the free claim, you're not getting milestone 16. So I don't think that it really makes a big difference. 2-1, 3-1, doesn't matter that much. Like what it will make a difference of is in terms of the orb fragments itself. What are actually in the orbs, I'm not sure because I'm not entirely certain that they mentioned. I should have had the blog open actually, but in terms of when they mentioned the event itself, I don't think that they actually mentioned what that would include. I'm just trying to get to it down here. Oh my god, should have done this ahead of time. The events. So unless the orbs have crimson gear, but other than that, chance to earn this right. Crimson gear pieces are on the line. Snatch anniversary from the free claim battle. It doesn't actually say. It almost suggests that actually crimson gear might be in the orb, but it doesn't. I don't know because I mean the alien spores are in the milestone. And then there is Crimson Gear in the milestone, just not free to play accessible. So I can't say. Maybe there is. Maybe everyone else knew something that I didn't. And you know what? I'd apologize for that. If there is Crimson Gear in the orbs and they knew something I didn't, then my bad from what I said in the beginning of the video. But other than that, like I don't think there's actually any Crimson Gear in here. But I could be wrong. It could be in the orb. It doesn't really suggest what's actually in the anniversary orb. Normally, it's like teal gear and character shards. That's just what I'm going to assume. But there's nothing in here that actually tells us what that is. So, I don't know. Subject to change, right? Where's my button? Subject to change. All of this could be subject to change, but know that the event itself is not actually that overwhelming or difficult. You're doing a lot of the things that you're already doing now. Of course, you have to, because I want to be concerned about the people who are like too low level. Basically, if you don't have Cosmic Crucible unlocked, yeah, you're not going to do very well in this event. So whatever level that is, 60 plus. So make sure that you have that unlocked, and otherwise things should be okay. Otherwise, I'll be talking about it if need be as the week goes on, and if there's anything else to bring up. But other than that, like I said, the notes, we don't really know what the exchange rate of the energy to the fragments is going to be. But based on the last event, which was typical of this, and where they want us to achieve, I think 3-1 is reasonable. 2-1 is also possible. It depends on how stingy they want to be. And if that's the case, honestly, we're only getting like 7 to 11 orbs. It's not going to be that significant, even if the red gear happens to be in there. So that's going to be the end of this video, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and there's more videos to come on this channel, of course. So until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. And don't forget that this table will be live on my Discord server at Monday at 1 p.m. when the events go 2 p.m. actually when the events go live. I forgot daylight savings happened. My bad. The time's changed around. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. Boilon signing out.